Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Rumaisa and Rabia from Bond Adam Solicitors, and we are on the radio Seerah this week. Assalamu alaikum Rabia, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, and how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. It's been a long time since we've had you on Radio Seerah.
I know, I was doing it quite a bit last year, but it's good to be back, and this time from the studio. But yeah, it's been busy. I think work's busy.
Have there been any new updates in the family law? How's it going since we last spoke?
Yeah, I think family's on its toes. It's been one of those that have just constantly been going since sort of lockdown. We've never really seen a drop or anything. There's been quite a few recent changes. There's been quite a few recent changes in the law as well, especially surrounding, children and parent cases, child law. So yeah, you have to constantly just make sure you're, on top of the law, reading up, seeing what's been going on. We've seen a lot of cases of parental alienation recently. So, where one parent is sort of alienating the child against the other parent, whether that's just because of their own personal gain or, just because obviously the marriage has broken down so severely that they sort of use children as like a scapegoat to try to get one over the other parent. So we're seeing a lot of that recently, and I think the courts are also seeing a lot of that. So we've had recent, precedents from the president of the family division, and he's come out with sort of changes in the wording and things that we can use. So as practitioners and solicitors and barristers, we've been told to change the way we use the words of sort of like parental alienation to say that one parent is abusive or aggressive, because it just sort of heightens the issues between the parents. It doesn't sort of like diffuse the situation, it sort of aggravates it. It kind of makes a situation worse rather than them being able to come together and use the courts or use forms of ADR to try and sort out their issues. So we've had to adopt a lot of our changes, the way we draft our witness statements, the way we sort of advocate for clients in court. We can't say, for example, that there's issues of parental alienation. We have to say there's issues of, children's behaviours that have been sort of children's behaviours that are now confused or that may have some sort of influence from one parent. So there's been quite a few changes that we've sort of experienced, but it keeps us going. It's quite helpful, and we have like barristers who are quite on top of the law as well, and they sort of give us the guidelines. But yeah, I think recently I've just seen quite a lot of children and finance cases. Going through the courts, just breakdown. And I mean, look, I don't advocate for divorce. I'm not here supporting it. I'm not here supporting, domestic violence or anything like that. But because of the line of work that I'm in, it's nice to be able to provide support for those who have actually been through something like that. So it's nice to be able to help people, give them advice on any issues that they're going through. And sometimes people just need someone to talk to. It's not about going all the way to court. It's just about maybe making them understand that there is a solution here. I feel like there's a lot of people, men and women both, husband and wives, both mothers and fathers, who feel as though they don't have a legal avenue, who feel like they're stuck, who feel like they can't come out of whatever situation that they're in, whether or not they're not financially stable to maybe leave, they're not financially stable to be able to get help from someone, or, they just feel trapped. But you shouldn't feel like that. There's people out here who you can just talk to. We offer, 30 minutes free advice for people who want to come and just have a chat, and we can sort of give you a rough idea as to what options are available for you. And there's loads of charities that we work with as well. Women's Aid, Men's Aid, just broken families living without abuse, that are available for both men and women. So we can, direct you, we can sort of point you in that direction. So yeah, we've seen quite a bit of a rise in finance and children cases at the moment. But I think it's been like that ever since lockdown, to be honest. It's just...
Is it the impact of lockdown, people spending
a lot
more
of time together. I feel like I want to kind of move away from just saying, oh, it's lockdown, but I think lockdown has made some people more tolerable, but it's also made people less tolerable to things. So, you know, sometimes when we get divorce cases, or we get people who come to us just to explain what's been going on in their family life and just want some advice, you look at the scale, for example, of, you know, severe, or you think, okay, this is not as severe, and each to their own. That is subjective. We're not here to judge. I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone that the reason why their marriage broke down is not severe, or it's. Everyone's entitled to their own, and obviously no one really knows truly what goes on behind closed doors. But I think sometimes, you know, I've had people who come to me who've only been married for 6 months and they're looking to get a divorce, or those who have been married for, you know, 30 years and they just can't live together anymore. And sometimes when you hear the reasoning, you think, you know, okay, maybe is there any way you can work through this? Is there, you know, mediation options? But like I said, it's not a place for us to judge. We're just here to give advice on what options you have available. But yeah, I think lockdowns made people, I don't know, less tolerable maybe, but maybe just that, you know, they feel like they know there's options out there. They know there's advice out there for us. But yeah, it's going well. Family department is just up and running. There's new cases all the time. But how's the housing market? Is it up and booming? Or?
I think I can say it's back up and booming now. We did have very quiet month, I think from November to Feb time, where obviously the mortgage interest rates went up, and as you can see, they are still going up.
Yeah.
We had a lot of issues then where the lenders were mainly pulling out. Or their mortgage offers were changing, or clients not being able to afford to go ahead with the purchases. So yes, we had a lot of matters that obviously clients weren't going ahead with, or they had to drop down.
Yeah.
But I can say now, obviously, that we have picked up. We are, yes, as I said,
a lot of work coming in.
A lot of work coming in. I can see that there's still a price reduction in the market. But yeah, work is definitely coming in.
Yeah.